Hey guys, today I'm going to show you something special, some special carvings on the ceilings of ancient Indian temples. This is the Panchavarna Swami temple, which has several carvings related to time travel. As you can see, it is very dark and it is very hard to see what is really there on top. But I did zoom in with a different camera and took pictures. Once I looked at the pictures, I was surprised to see these motifs carved on them. What is this weird creature which looks like a twisted shark with protruding teeth? Is this some kind of a prehistoric animal? Who's this guy holding a pot? If we look carefully at the entire picture, we can see the 12 signs of the zodiac, just like what we use in today's astrology. Going in a circle, we can see Aries or Ram, Taurus the bull, Gemini or the twins, Cancer or crab, Leo the lion, and Virgo the virgin. Remember, in India, a different type of astrology is used called Vedic astrology. It is somewhat similar to Western astrology, but there are some big differences between the two. The rest of the zodiac signs are Libra or scales, Scorpio or scorpion, Sagittarius the archer who has half the body of an animal, Capricorn or sea goat. In India, the Capricorn is called Makara, which is a feathered crocodile-like creature. The last ones are the Aquarius, the water bearer, and the Pisces or fish. Now, why does this temple have these 12 signs carved on the ceiling? Remember, many ancient temples have these strange carvings in inaccessible locations. For example, you won't be able to see these carvings with your naked eye. So why carve them at all, especially at this height and where there is no light? This temple is at least 2,000 years old, but let's go to a temple called Gangaikunda Cholapuram, which is about 8,000 years old. Again, inside the temple, as you can see, this is a very dark area, and nobody really observes these carvings on the ceiling. But again, we have the 12 signs of the zodiac. Why would anybody make these carvings and also deliberately make sure that nobody can see them? Unless you're like me, walking into the darkest areas with a flashlight, you're not going to see them. Is it possible to really understand why these were carved? To decode this secret, we need to go to a temple called Karugasala Murthy Temple. This is a 1,300-year-old temple, and in the ceiling of this temple, you're going to see something that will blow your mind. This is the map, this is the key that explains everything about astrology and even ancient astronomy. Look at the complexity of this. What kind of patterns are these? Are you able to make any sense of this? This can cause information overload, so focus on this particular square. Here you can see the 12 signs of the zodiac. You can see all the signs like Sagittarius with bow and arrow, Scorpio, and scales or Libra. When I showed this to mainstream archaeologists and historians, they agree that yes, this particular square in the entire panel shows the signs of the zodiac, but they think that everything else is just a bunch of random carvings. I mean, you see animals, you see these circles, and in the center, there are also a variety of symbols which make no sense. They make no sense to experts because today's experts don't know much about Vedic astrology. These 9 symbols in the center denote the 9 factors or Navagraha in Vedic astrology, sometimes mistranslated as 9 planets. These are 9 factors which are set to affect us. These 9 symbols have the sun in the center, the moon, and planets Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and the ascending or descending nodes of moon's orbit known as Rahu and Ketu. You can compare them side by side with the ancient symbols. These symbols are only rarely used today, even by Indian astrologers. Okay, so I've shown you these 9 symbols and you've seen the 12 signs of the zodiac, but the rest of the numerous carvings around them, these dozens of random animals in this square, are basically just for filling up the empty space, just for decoration or artistic purposes. This is how mainstream archaeologists will talk about this, but that's not true. Remember, nothing is random in ancient Indian temples. Yes, there are dozens of different animals, but if you count, there are exactly 28 squares. Look carefully. Each animal is a little bit different from the other. Each animal represents one of the 28 lunar mansions, also known as nakshatras in Indian astrology. A lot of Indians think there are 27 nakshatras, but they don't know there is a 28th one, a hidden lunar mansion called Abhijit. People whose astrology has this lunar mansion will have a very abnormal life. They would have deep interest in occult science, spirituality, and meditation. The Abhijit is shown here specifically with a big difference. This is the only square which does not show an animal. This is literally the odd man who does not fit in with the rest of the lunar mansions. In English, we call this as Vega, the brightest star in the constellation of Lyra. The outermost square consists of 36 small squares. Inside each square is a circular or cymatic pattern. Each pattern represents something called a drekana or dreshkan. In English, these are known as decans. Each decan represents 10 degrees of the entire 360 degrees of the zodiac circle. Now, remember, the entire map you see should have all been circular. This is the basis of astrology. Astrologers use squares for convenience, but we know in reality this entire panel should have been a large circle. So the entire system is based on splitting this 360 degrees circle progressively from smaller divisions to larger divisions. From the center, if I start making exactly 45-degree angles, between any 2 angles I would have a symbol from the Navagraha. Now if I make 30-degree angles, I would get one sign of the zodiac between any 2 angles. I have intentionally not explained this particular square, which has a ton of interesting information, but I challenge you to find out what it is and do leave a comment about what this square really means. If I make 18-degree angles, I would get one of these patterns between any 2 lines. If I use about 12.85 degrees, I would get one lunar mansion or nakshatra. And finally, if I make 10-degree angles from the center, I would get a decan between any 2 lines. Now, mainstream archaeologists and historians can really explain to us how primitive ancient builders were after looking at this. And there is something much more extraordinary about this. It is as though the ancient builders had psychic powers or abilities of time travel. They knew someone in the future would come here and split this panel into various degree angles and try to decode them. Why do I say this? Because look at these really tiny circles. What are they? Ancient builders carved them in these specific spots for us to make these angular divisions. I did not measure 30-degree angles to see the signs of the zodiac. I just joined these circle marks on this particular square. I joined these circular marks on the largest square, and I automatically got the decans between each 10-degree angle. But what is the reason for carving these symbols of stars and different planets on the ceilings of ancient temples? Today, the ceilings of new Hindu temples no longer have this feature, but ancient Indian temples were built for a completely different reason. They were built to spread knowledge. But even in ancient temples, why did they not carve these constellations on pillars or walls? Why only in dark areas, and why only on ceilings which are unreachable and completely inaccessible? Were these carvings specifically designed as a key to unlock the mystery of the stars and planets? When I talk about unlocking the secret, it sounds like some fancy theory, but I literally mean that. Did you notice this strange protrusion in the very center? Yes, that is in fact a doorknob, which will open this stone door. And you may think, well, it may not really be a door, but if you look carefully, you can even see the gap between the door and the doorway, and you can even see other protrusions which indicate there may be a complex mechanism to open this ancient door. Is it possible that what lies on the other side of this door may finally reveal the real secret of the stars? Please let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I am Praveen Mohan. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and also click on the bell button to get all the updates. Please give this video a thumbs up and do share it with your friends. And I will talk to you soon. Bye.